Paula, you still have the minutes. Yeah, I sent them to Juan earlier this morning.
Oh, you sent this morning?
Yeah.
I never thought about this, but it would make more sense for the president to always sign. That way you can pass documents back and forth, rotate who does it instead of.
Green light's on.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to our first County Commissioners meeting of 2024. Would you please rise and join me for the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business is the election of officers to serve in 2024, and I'll turn that over to Doug.
All right. I open the floor to nominations for president.
I move to nominate Tom Murtaugh as president.
I second that nomination.
We have a nomination. Any further nominations? Floor is closed. All those in favor of Tom Murtaugh as president signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right. That's President Murtaugh, and I'd open the floor to vice president.
I would nominate Commissioner David Byers as vice president.
Second?
We have a nomination. Any further nominations? Floor is closed. All those in favor of Commissioner Byers as vice president signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Turn the chair over to President Murtaugh.
All right. Thank you. First item on our agenda today is the approval of the minutes from the December 28th meeting.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the minutes dated 12/28 as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion passes. All right. And now we have a series of annual resolutions. The first one being our meeting dates for 2024. Obviously, they'll be the first and third Mondays of each month, with the exception of January 2nd, January 16th, February 20th, and September 3rd. Those go on to a Tuesday because of Monday being a holiday. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Our second resolution is for our department head appointments, and those consist of Mike Wolf for Building Commissioner, Kent Croft for Chief Information Officer, Paula Bennett for Commissioner's Executive Assistant. The Community Corrections Executive Director is still being determined. Emergency Management Executive Director, William Smokey Anderson. Fairgrounds Property Manager, Andrew Klein. Highway Executive Director, Stu Klein. Human Resources Coordinator, Sadie McKinley. Maintenance Executive Director, Anthony Dildine. Tippecanoe County Villa Director, Deanna Sieber. Veteran Service Officer, James Harris. Weights and Measures Director, James Wolf. And Youth Services Director, Rebecca Humphrey.
Mr. President, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-02 for appointments.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Oh. No comments from the peanut gallery. All right. The third resolution we have are appointments to our various councils, commissions, and boards. For Commissioner Brown, that includes Area Plan Commission, Community Corrections Advisory Board, Drainage Board, Local Emergency Planning Committee, Management Information Technology Services Advisory Board, Solid Waste Advisory Commission, Tippecanoe County Emergency Management Agency, and Tippecanoe County Solid Waste District. For Commissioner Byers, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Court Services Advisory Board, Drainage Board, Human Resources Committee, Lafayette Housing Consortium, Local Environmental Response Financing Board, and the Tippecanoe County Solid Waste Management District. For myself, Area Plan Commission, Cary Home Advisory Board, Drainage Board, Joint Purchasing Committee, Redevelopment Commission, Tippecanoe County Solid Waste Management District, Valley Oaks Health, and Wabash River Enhancement Corp. And this resolution also includes our appointments to other boards and councils and commissions, and those that we're appointing effective yesterday would be Tim Clark to the Accessibility Coalition of Tippecanoe County, Holly Hughes to the Alcohol and Tobacco Commission, Dr. Chris Whitty to the Animal Disease Control Emergency Coordinator, Vicki Pearl and Gary Schroeder to Area Plan Commission, Rick Oliver to the Board of Operating Company for Battleground Golf Course, Rebecca Humphrey to the Child Protection Team, Steve Schreckengast to the Economic Development Commission for West Lafayette. To the Human Relations Commission, we have 4 appointments: Carolyn Johnson, Juan Ramirez, Yadira Salazar, and Sandra Sidnor. To Public Defender Commission, we have Jeff Kemper. Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals, Scott Brown, Cheryl Butcher, and Brad Niehauser. To the Romney Regional Sewer District, Harold Corbin. To the Tippecanoe County Building Corporation, Nate Barrett, Steve Schreckengast, Kathleen Klein. To the Tippecanoe County Partnership for Water Quality, Zach Beasley with Dale Snipes as the alternate. Tippecanoe County Public Library, Melissa McCandless. Tippecanoe County Redevelopment Commission, Jim Andrew, Chris Flo, and Chris Kessler. And to the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission, Jim Andrew and Madison Neer as the alternate. With that, I'll entertain a motion for approval of that resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right. Next, we're on to the Area Plan Commission.
Mr. President, I move we hear ordinance 2024-01-CM, APC rezone Purdue Research Foundation R2 to OR.
Second.
Thank you. Happy New Year. David Hiddle with the Area Plan Commission with 3 cases. The first is Z-2915. The Purdue Research Foundation is a petitioner in a zoning request. The request is to rezone about 30 acres just south of the Hadley Moore subdivision, just north of the border, corporate border of the city of West Lafayette, from R2 to OR. R2 is a single-family and 2-family residential district. OR is office research, which is kind of a wide-ranging district that allows for a variety of lower-intensity office and industrial uses. The site was rezoned actually to R2 from industrial reserve in 1972. It's never been developed. It's currently used agriculturally. And this rezoning, if approved, would essentially allow the petitioner to link this site with the twin site immediately east of it, which is already zoned OR. The site would then be developed conjointly with access being provided to both sites via Yeager Road to the east. Otherwise, this site is landlocked. The request does meet with the neighborhood commercial recommendation of the comp plan, which is pending, not yet adopted, but currently under consideration and to be adopted sometime in early 2024, we hope. And so, in staff's eyes, the request is reasonable, as it would allow for the contiguous expansion of the Purdue Research Park and allow for a sewered, watered property to be developed, whereas it's been undeveloped for decades. So we are supportive. It was recommended for approval by the APC at a 12-0 vote at its meeting last month, and again, we recommend a position of support for it. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Petitioner?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mary Ann Owen from the law firm Stewart and Brannigan here on behalf of the Purdue Research Foundation. It's wonderful to see everyone. Happy New Year. Well, I'm here to talk to you about this wonderful project. The Area Plan Commission staff and the commission itself have wonderful report to be made that the PRF fully appreciates and supports. So much of what I would say has already been said by David. So I'll keep my report very short as best I can because, I do like to talk a bit. This rezoning is to permit this area to be used like that, much of what the research park is, how it is used. And this allows us to move forward with that work. There is not a project planned immediately for this project. This is preparing the area for a project. This is a part of a site readiness program that was done by the Duke Energy, and they identified this property as having a high potential for business and industrial sites for economic development investments. This is a high honor from Duke Energy, and we look forward to making this project a part of the research park going forward. And so I'm here to answer any questions you might have in regard to this property.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this request?
I'm not against this. I own a house at, we do, 1593 Mason-Dixon Drive. There is a berm that was built when they were doing Hadley Moors to keep the water from running through our yard. I just want to make sure that we preserve that so that we don't have flooding all the time.
Okay. And just to make you aware that, obviously, if and when this property is developed, they'll have to go through drainage board, and so that's when we'll make sure that all that gets handled. So, thank you, though. Anyone else? Questions?
I don't have any.
Okay. Kaylee?
Murtaugh,
Yes.
Byers,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-1-CM passes 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I move we hear ordinance 2024-02-CM, a rezone Z 2916 Tippecanoe School Corporation A to R1.
Second.
This rezoning involves a property just under 100 acres, 98.85 acres to be exact, currently zoned A for agricultural, currently used agriculturally. The request is to rezone to R1, which is the lowest intensity single-family dwelling zoning district. R1 also allows for use by schools, for development of schools, for buildings and other related school uses. This is a property that was purchased by the Tippecanoe School Corporation, who is the petitioner, from the county last year. The request to rezone to R1 meets both the recommendation of the 1981 plan, which is currently in effect, and the pending Wabash Township Plan update, which recommends R1, essentially low-density residential use. So staff is supportive of this request. It also received a 12-0 vote in favor at the APC meeting last month, and be happy to answer any questions you might have.
All right. Thank you. Petitioner?
Good morning, all. I'm Mark DeYoung with Stewart and Brannigan here on behalf of Tippecanoe School Corporation, with whom I serve as Corporation Counsel. I appreciate the staff report and the Plan Commission's actions, and we agree with everything in there. I didn't mention this at the APC, but now I want to just clarify the status of the purchase. Briefly, the APC staff report says we bought it. We do have an agreement with the Board of Commissioners for the purchase. It is pending closing. I spoke with Eric Burns in the back of the room during the Plan Commission office hearing on that matter. I think you all understand that, right?
Yes.
We're in the due diligence process, And so we will hopefully own this early in 2024. It's amazing how much stuff gets repeated in the press once it gets said at all, so I thought I would clarify that. Beyond that, we appreciate the terms on which you guys have made it available to us. TSC has been anxious or eager, whatever, very happy to own some additional property in this quadrant of the county as this area is growing, as you all know. We request this rezoning to R1 so that we will someday be able to develop it for school use. Thank you very much. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this petition? Questions?
No, sir.
Kaylee?
Byers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Murtaugh.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-2-CM passes 3-0.
Thank you. All right. And then the next one's a resolution, so you can go ahead.
Thank you. We are here with the updated version of the county's multi-hazard mitigation plan. This was brought to you and approved about a year ago. Part of the process then involved sending it to FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Association, for their review. It took them quite a while, and they got back to us with a couple very minor modifications just involving language, updating to match our jargon with their jargon. Having done that, we are now bringing it back for another approval so that it can go in the books as an approved document. Backing up just a little bit, this is a requirement of any community that participates in the National Flood Insurance Program, and it essentially involves all emergency management personnel from various departments and municipalities and organizations in the county gathering together to assemble processes and plans for what happens in the event of a catastrophe or hazard. And it's assembled by APC staff, primarily by Larry Ackerman, and put together and updated every 5 years to keep us in good standing with FEMA with regards to national flood insurance. So we're here with our revised version and looking for another approval, and be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this? Questions?
No,
If
sir.
not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, next we have a resolution authorizing a commissioner tax certificate sale. Looks like we have 8 properties.
Yeah, Mr. President, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-05-CM. This is for 8 properties for tax sale, of setting our minimum price at $50 per unit. So hopefully this gets these properties back into new owners and become back on the tax list.
And I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? That passes. All right, we have an agreement for legal services with Hoffman, Lumen, and Masson.
Yes, this is our contract with our legal team, which I think we have one of the best out there, especially going on with the LEAP project and other issues that come before the county. So in saying that, I move that we approve this legal service agreement with Hoffman, Lumen, and Masson as private attornees. It is stated that they will be charging $225 per hour for all services, paralegals at $75 per hour, and one attorney at $145 per hour for services.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval for the agreement for legal services. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right, grants.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to ask permission for our magistrate court to receive the Indiana Supreme Court Court Reform Grant to improve security in and around the courthouse in the amount of $40,000.
Mr. President, I move for approval as submitted.
Second?
All in favor, say aye. Those opposed? That passes.
And the Circuit Court received the Indiana Supreme Court VESA grant for the award of $75,000 that continues this program through the Wabash Center, and that would be from January 1st to December 31st of 2024.
Is that the guardianship?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mr. President, I move we grant permission to accept as stated.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
And Rebecca has been super busy with her grants. She received all 4 of the ICJI grants, contractual services for mental health providers, services and assessment for the youth and families either in the juvenile system or being diverted into the juvenile system. The first one is the 2024 Juvenile Diversion Grant in the amount of $80,000.
Mr. President, I move for approval.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
The next one is for a 2024 Juvenile Community Alternative Grant in the amount of $75,000.
So move to accept.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
And then she was awarded the $220,000 for the Juvenile Behavioral Health Competitive Grant Pilot Program in the state of Indiana.
Mr. President, I move for approval.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That passes.
And the final one is the 2024 Title II Juvenile Justice Delinquency Prevention Act in the grant of $90,000 with a $10,000 in-kind match from the county.
Move to accept.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? That passes as well.
And I do not have the MOU from Purdue yet for our interns, but they're supposed to be here in January, so hopefully by our next meeting, we will have that signed by Purdue. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Do we have any unfinished or new business? Nope. Reports on file. We have a report from the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission, and I think that is the only report. Is there any public comment?
Move to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.